All I can say is that when you break this down, it sounds like a VIG to me.
Now, let's get to that revenue share part, because that's the news here. The revenue share with the U.S. government is not entirely unprecedented, at least in this administration. The U.S. reached a deal for a quote-unquote golden share of revenue from U.S. Steel when it approved its takeover by Nippon Steel in June. Though that involved a stake in the company. The revenue share with Nvidia and AMD does not appear to involve shares. Several analysts have said this deal could violate Article 1, Section 9, Clause 5 of the U.S. Constitution. That section says, no tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from any state. And before you get too hung up on the word state, the U.S. Supreme Court has interpreted this over the years to mean any export to foreign territories. However, the administration may make the argument that this is a tax on a particular good, the H-20 and the Mi-308. Not a tax on the export. It just happens that nobody domestically is in the market for an H-20 or an Mi-308 because they can buy better chips from Nvidia and AMD because they're not restricted. The official annotated constitution that is on the U.S. Congress's website at congress.gov says the Supreme Court has ruled that the export clause's restriction on Congress's taxing power does not extend to several taxes, such as a tax on all property alike, including property intended for export, but not in the course of exportation. So if I can turn that into regular speak, they're saying, look, if you're putting a tax on a certain kind of property and you're not taxing the act of exporting it, you're just taxing that property, even though that property gets exported, that's allowed. That might be what the administration is up to here. They're not calling it a tax in any of these articles. They're calling it a revenue share, but that would be a whole weird new kind of thing here. We don't know the details other than the reporting by the Financial Times and the Wall Street Journal. Rob, what do you call this?
Well, Tom, I'm not an expert in the Constitution or import and export rules and all that kind of stuff. All I can say is that when you break this down, it sounds like a VIG to me. I mean, it sounds like if you got a bookie,
they just want a little bit of the action.
What's happening here? Now, it may all be legal. Our legal system is weird on rules of what the federal government can and cannot do. But yeah, it sounds like a VIG to me.